Want to look at Proton, the Swiss company giving you an alternative to Gmail, Google Calendar, Outlook. I've gone through this switch. I'm kind of in the middle, switching over, and I've seen all of their features and just wanted to share what it's like. I know a lot of people are on Gmail, would never think of leaving. And Google Docs, really for me, I would love to leave Google Docs. I mean, opening a spreadsheet that takes a minute to load, like, what is this? And also keeping an open mind is a good thing. Let's check it out.
Have you heard the rumors that Google might shut down?
Yeah, breaking up. So yeah, it has to do with the United States government successfully sued Google. We got some smooth water here. Shout out to DJ Smooth, thanks. This is watermelon infused vodka water. So it's basically watered down vodka. I don't know. But it doesn't have bubbles like all the other stuff. So whatever. So Google is in the situation right now where they got sued and they are operating a monopoly illegally.
Yes, I'm coming from the gossip.
Yeah. There was a complaint raised by the United States federal government against Google for doing illegal things. So they paid money so that Apple would not allow anybody else to be the default. And they locked this up for years. That means if you wanted to compete with Google search, and you could never pay any amount of money to Apple to do that. The US government says that's illegal to do that, and it is. However, they will go back and forth for years complaining the merits about the case, and then there'll be a remedy. So when you do something illegal, there's a consequence. Now, the solution is very easy. They also need to make Apple liable for as a co-conspirator on this. They knew what they were doing. They're not idiots. But really, the simple solution is just Apple to make the contract not exclusive. So they would do a Dutch auction instead of a complete auction. Dutch auctions maximize revenue, so Apple would just make more money out of the scenario anyway, and Google would avoid getting broken up. So the solution is really easy. However, a lot of people hate Google right now, how they've squeezed everything, all of the money out of the industry. The whole page is ads. It's completely unified. It's tampering in elections. It's doing all the bad things for everybody. And so Google is very much at risk here of getting broken up, getting the wrath of the book thrown at them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like for a long time they have had such a amount of power. A lot of people think that Google is the government.
It's bigger than governments, yeah. Let's keep an open mind. Let's not use Google just because it's big, and let's try other stuff. If you're in the crypto world, a lot of people are using Proton, and I've held out for a long time. I used to work at Google forever ago, and I've had my Gmail account since April 1st, and I thought, why not set it up on Proton? And so I'll show you what it looks like. So here's Proton, and it's a mail client. So I've got everything that I'm showing you is on the computer. I've also got it on the phone here. Yep, so we've got the same accounts. If you have a Google Calendar or whatever, any type of calendar, sometimes your calendar will email reminders to you. So email and calendar work together. Right now I'm in the middle of switching over. So I've got most of my calendar is now in Proton and some of the stuff is still in Gmail, and I have to go find those events to move them over. I have to re-invite everybody. Here's my Gmail. So I've got lots of different labels. So you know that labels are pretty unique when Gmail came out. Previously had folders on Outlook. On Proton, folders and labels. So you have both. It looks nice. I've got it on black mode. I like that. Oh, so one thing you don't get AI typing, so it doesn't complete for you. If that's something you rely on a lot for Gmail, you're gonna miss that. Now, there are a couple times like when you load the page or whatever, it's like you can see that it's loading like twice. So it's loading the page, but then it takes an extra second. I try to notice these things, like I wonder what it's doing. Also, you notice that sometimes when you click certain buttons, like this button, you get a big fat loading screen there. It's pretty quick, it's less than a second. But what's going on is there are different applications. So there's also an encryption aspect. Everything that's on the server, we understand, is currently encrypted. It's encrypted at rest. So that means that it goes to Proton. Proton could keep a copy of your email, but they say they don't. So we have to trust them on that, I guess. I don't know that it's using public key cryptography. I don't know that the message is coming to you encrypted. They tell you that if you send an email from one Proton Mail user to another, then it's going to be encrypted end to end. That means they do not have access. Also, if you send mail from Proton out to the internet, it's not encrypted anyway. The question is, who are you encrypting against? Are you encrypting against the government? Honestly, the encryption for Proton Mail is not really a big plus. Until there's a public standard and they're actually using it, and other people are actually using it, it's not really effective. But the website's usable. There's no ads. I don't know how, but I don't have any ads on Gmail. I don't have an ads bar. I never had ads. Maybe I got grandfathered into something, or I think my account is blessed somehow, because I've seen other people with new Gmail accounts and they suck. Proton costs money. So you got to pay for this. I think I pay $5 or $10 a month for all these apps, and I'll show you. You get a lot less storage than Gmail. There's some other stuff you get with it. So it's not just mail for $10. You get multiple email addresses. And this is something I absolutely use. I actually have a whole domain name and I use different email addresses for everything I do. I have a whole file that I track all this stuff. It's very simple. When Gemini gets hacked and they sell my email address, or Ledger gets hacked, I get an email from OpenSea that says you win, sent to my Ledger email address. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. Sometimes I know about the email leak before it's reported because I know that OpenSea would never have gotten my Ledger email address. It wouldn't have happened. And when they steal email addresses, usually they send you spam. My MX record is set to Proton. All the mail goes in there, and then I can use Proton to set up where the mail goes. So basically, that means if I'm going to send you an email, so I'll show you what it looks like. I send you an email. I can choose, do I send from a Proton email address? Do I send from my own email address, right? I can choose that. You can set up other email addresses. This is useful for business. It's useful for your personal life. I like it. I like to have different email addresses. I like to have a new project and I'll have an email address for the project. And it has an archive. It has spam, trash. Everything is basically what you are used to. It's got scheduled mail, star, you can snooze emails. Really practical stuff. The keyboard shortcuts are a little different. Not sure I like them as much. So that's mail. Now let's go to calendar. So a lot going on in my calendar. You can import calendars. So for Community Service Hour, we have a new calendar. There's a button here for ICS. They work very similar to Google. I actually think the Proton calendar is nicer than Google. I think the Google calendar sucks. Does it work small? Yeah. Oh my God. Like you can actually put it on the side of your screen. Versus the Google calendar, you shrink it and it's not even responsive. This is like a 1990s website. It is so dumb. But the Proton calendar is superior. It actually gets out of your way. Like you could put this, and the cool thing about Arc is you could just make this little thing and put it in the corner. Like, oh my God, you can make the web page any size you want. So nice.
Well, topic of the day, emails. You know, I'm all about the emails, man. I've been hassling you to change because your emails were unverified for so long. It kept going to spam. What was up with that?
Yeah, here's what's going on. I was using Namecheap. Namecheap got bought by web.com. And then I got an email from web.com. It's like, we're going to stop doing email forwarding. Have fun. So I said, okay, so I'm going to do Proton. I set up my MX record. So all my email outbound is strictly enforced. It's not allowing any spoofing or spamming. Everything's signed by Proton. And I like it. It's so far, it's nice.
Cool. If you're paying $1 for that Gmail account,
yeah,
you must have like a Larry Page era Gmail, because it's at least like $10 now to have a subscription. So it's very grandfathered is a understatement.
Yeah, and the big thing is that there's no ads. Like I had to create a new Gmail account for work for something, like a free account, completely unusable, all spam. For me, switching from Gmail, it's like, okay, whatever. From other people switching, huge difference. The notification. So I think this is a lot nicer. I mean, obviously this website was made recently. It actually works. It looks nice. Now the keyboard shortcuts, it doesn't have keyboard shortcuts, or maybe you have to turn them on or something, but there's no like week, month, day. It doesn't have that. Now I do have the calendar app on the phone too. They look lined up. They look nice. So now the bad news. I actually had some problems setting up notifications. Like the phone wasn't notifying me before the event. So you need to actually fix your default notifications. So you would do that under here, and you can choose, it's got like 15 minutes before or 1 day before. I'm going to change this later, but like, it's kind of weird. Like you don't normally get this event is happening right now. And I have a lot of like meetings or whatever during the day. So I need my notifications. I have my computer and then I have my phone next to my computer to just tell me when the meetings are. It's like a second screen. I have a nice little like magnetic thing next to my iMac that you just shove your phone on there, which is really cool. When you use Gmail, it's like, here's your Gmail account, and everything else is forwarded in. When you're using Proton, it's like, this is whatever email account you want. So it's more like respecting that you are not a Proton person, you're your own person, and you could have multiple accounts connected to it, which I thought that was philosophically, that was cool. Next, I will go to.
Oh, wait. So
Yep.
before you move on, so does that mean that you can redirect your Hotmail or Gmail, whatever Gmail or email account you have?
Yes. So you can redirect, and that's actually what they recommend. So Proton's got Easy Switch, and this is a way that you can connect your account. You can export from mail and import. So actually, it looks like Proton does get access to your emails from Gmail. Again, privacy is not the number one feature of Proton. Yeah, and so you can import all of your existing Gmail there. You can also redirect from Gmail into Proton, and you can cut over. And there is one last thing here. It's a hide my email. This is great for most people are going to want this. You can just create new email addresses like nonstop. You name it anything you want, like Amazon. And so here's your Amazon address, and then it forwards automatically, and then it works. And then you can delete it if they start spamming you.
So what's your viewpoint regarding the selling point of Proton Mail? Because their selling point, they push heavily that they are very privacy centered. You know, where's the disparity? What do you see undermining that claim that that's the strongest thing they offer?
I don't see that it's encrypted. If somebody is sending you a personal email, it's very likely from Gmail or from Outlook. And that's not encrypted on the other side. So encrypted against who? Encrypted against the government? The government has access to Gmail and Outlook. So this is documented publicly. So the only thing that's really encrypted against government or whatever would be from Proton to Proton. And there's no critical mass. So
okay. So you're saying if you send a message to a Gmail account, even though they may not be able to see the message on your side of you, I guess, sending it, them receiving the message, it would be seen because the government has access to Gmail?
right.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with encrypting it. It's a good thing, and I'm sure they worked very hard on it. But it's not really going to matter much until more people are using Proton. And a bunch are, especially in the crypto land. I don't get any value from that. I don't get any value from this encryption. It's like, whatever, cool. I more actually like the website looks great. I mean, this is a great looking website. You know, Gmail barely added dark mode. All email clients that have dark mode still have this black on white text because they use HTML. But still, this dark mode is superior to Gmail. It's very nice. So there's the calendar. Now I'll give you the next one is notes. So my notes here is my karaoke list. So I've got my karaoke list songs. So I'm going to copy this. This is what it looks like in Google Keep.
When are we going to go to karaoke?
Yeah. See?
Let's do that.
Let's go to karaoke.
I'm with it.
We got a note here. Here's my list. So here's all my songs. If you hit me up like this last century here, and we got recent hits. And so you get a fun tag over here. So it's got a tag situation. You could do folders. Folders cost money, but tags are free. Standard Notes was actually purchased by or merged, I don't know, with Proton. So this used to be its own company. Now there's some awesome things about this in terms of privacy. This is private because you don't usually share notes with other people. Usually it's your own notes. So for this one, it's got the color modes. They've got a lot of upsells. So like changing the color costs money unless you pick some of these colors. But when you set up your account, this is boss. This is so boss. When you set up your account to log in, so I guess I'll open it in incognito to show you. How did this work? First of all, you don't even need an account. It just, see, I didn't even do anything and I'm logged in. So that's cool. It works in your browser and I can delete it and it's gone. And so you can create an account. And when you do that, there's an advanced option. So you can choose to put the data on your own server. What? So like you can use their server to put the data on, or you could run your own server, which is open source, and have all your notes saved there. This is beautiful. This is the future of a lot of open source software. Like, let's go. Thank you for doing this.
Word.
I'm loving to see like how is Proton going to integrate this into the rest of their products and whatever. Now, it does not support Markdown. Markdown is there, but that costs extra money. I don't know who's going to pay $10 a month for a notes taking app. I will pay $10 for a notes plus calendar plus mail plus drive app. And it's got nice views. I think the views are better here. So you can turn off this. I don't know how to get back if you do that. Like this has got a good usability feel in it. Way better than Google Keep. And it's a nice, modern, simple app. Love it. So now I'll go to the last thing here, which is Drive. Drive has got some issues. So you can make a new file. You can make a new doc, sort of like a Google Doc. Now this is encrypted. I'm confident that when I'm working on this, it is encrypted. Only I can see it unless I share it. And there's a whole cryptography thing with that, which I'm sure works great. What I love here is that this file is ripping fast. Like this file, I can open it. There's not like a million formatting features. There's no menus. Google Docs blows. I do a weekly meeting minutes for like the whole year. And there's like 20 meetings so far this year. It's unopenable. Like you open, it's 30 seconds. What are you doing? So I think it has to do with all the formatting. I think there's too much formatting or some crap or whatever. Even this is too much. I don't even want different fonts. What do I need fonts for? This is dumb. Instead, you should have header 1, header 2, header 3. Like that's it. That's all you need. Oh, there's no app menu. There should be a code mode. Yeah, so you get code and then a code block. All right, it doesn't have that yet. But yeah, so it's just a nice markdown editor and we're good. Like that's all you need. I think it has multiplayer editing, so you can edit multiple people at the same time. So that's sort of cool. You cannot publish documents. So you cannot make a public link. So right now for our.gg website, there's a show note, which is a public file. So you can open this without being logged in as a incognito, and you can access the file, which is great.
I think Google indexes them though. I've seen all sorts of like Google Drive links on Google search. They tend to be broken when you press them, but they're out there. Google is indexing them.
Yeah. So this is a start. These files are private. I actually want this to be public. Like that's almost like they're going too private because I do want to publish this file. I want to publish this as my community service notes. There's a nice little editable file that anybody can leave comments on. That's a lot of features, you know, they're not there yet. You can also synchronize files from your computer. They have an iPhone app and an Android app. I would be comfortable using this. Foggy is my client. They're also working on something like this to use your personal storage device. I guess I'm going to use that one instead. I would much more trust the Proton computer sync and photo sync than anything Google. Shared links, you can share files. Yeah, you can't make a share link you can't make a public link, but I can share my files with individual people. And yeah, I mean, it's a basic Drive thing. Again, it's really not that useful until you can make public links for a lot of stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Question. Sorry, do they have a free version, you know, like an introductory version, like 30-day trial?
Yeah, let's see.
Emails, I believe, are free.
Oh, okay. So what is it then $10?
Yeah, Proton's free. So free, you get 1 GB storage, 1 email address. Yeah, this is free. What I'm using for that costs money is maybe I'm using the $5
Custom
one.
domains, so you can use your domain for stuff, right?
Yes.
That's what the package pays for.
I'm using my own domain name. That costs more.
Oh, for your email.
Yeah.
Like arroba. Oh, okay.
I can use 3 custom email domains. That's what I need.
Oh, how many do you have? Because we got williamentrican.net, that new website that I built for you. So we need something.
So we can forward that. Well, if we just forward it, I don't need to burn a domain.
How would that work with forwarding the domain without creating an address? It's registered with GoDaddy.
So there's a button there that just says forward. So the email is delivered to GoDaddy and then forwarded.
Let's say there's like will@williamentrican.net. Are you saying that would need to be created, or we wouldn't even need to create that?
When you set up email on a domain, you set up individual emails, and you also have this thing called a catch-all. It's just a star. And so that means any email that comes to any address at that domain will go. Usually that's the one you want to do because you might have multiple names.
Oh, so you don't actually need to create an email address at all. You can just have every email address that's ever. Does that mean that you could just type in like, just slam on the keyboard and then add, at williamentrican.net and then the email will go to you?
That's usually the easiest way to set it up. Slam on the keyboard.com at whatever.net. And so a lot of people do that. Just like with Gmail. If you send an email to bob@gmail, well, that is equivalent to Bob plus slam on the keyboard. That will also go to Bob.
Yeah, that's easy. Wow, I did not know that. That's cool. Interesting.
Yeah, we got a couple last features here that I have not played with. We have VPN. There's a VPN app, so I could use a WireGuard config, which is nice. I don't use that, so I could set that up if I wanted to. There's a password manager. I don't use password managers. I have a different password approach. Other small notes here. The calendar did not refresh as fast. So like I had my community service hour calendar, which you can subscribe to and just tells you the next call on community service hour. That only refreshes every like couple hours or something, which was kind of annoying. It's very good. This is very usable. There might be some ridiculous things you're used to with Google, like the AI complete your messages. But if you want a very solid, usable mail or calendar client, they got you. Also, contacts. That's another problem, which kind of sucks because contacts are part of your calendar and part of your mail too. So like birthdays. My birthdays aren't on here. And so for that reason, I cannot leave Google until that is fixed. I cannot stop using Google because I don't know when people's birthdays are and people expect me to remember their birthdays.
Ha ha ha! That's how they get you.
Yep.
That's how they get you.